you play pretty casually, maybe like an hour a day or so? Or is that more concentrated on the weekends or something?
Yeah, I would say more concentrated on weekends. I usually get to about, on average, I want to say like 10 games per week, but maybe a little bit more, maybe a
Oh,
little bit less, depending on the week.
okay, gotcha. So I see what you're trying to learn today, which is like capitalizing on laning stage lead and stuff like that. But why coaching? Like, what's causing you to? What drove you to get coaching?
Yeah, I mean, I've been a long time watcher since the Dead Lane BSJ days, so
Oh, classic.
I have a lot of knowledge that I've accrued, but it's like you've been mentioning the signal versus noise thing. So I have like a bunch of concepts in my head that I have tried to work at, and I'm like 20% of the way through all of them. So I'd really love to like have someone look at my gameplay and be like, okay, ignore all of that. Here are the top three things that you need to be doing, and like give me some form of like prioritization. That's like the main thing I'm looking for. So
Okay, so your goal for today's session is to have like 1 to 3 actionable things to focus on.
yeah, yeah. Because like I end up just bouncing between things inconsistently. I'm like one game I'm focusing on looking at the mini map, one game I'm focusing on farming backwards as far up as I can on the minute, and other games I'm focusing on different things, you know. So it's like it's never the same thing, which is not good. I obviously so.
Gotcha. How would you describe your role in the game as a carry player? Just like generally speaking.
Um, Early on, it's mainly to accrue resources so that I can become useful enough to contribute at some point, and with enough of a net worth lead, I can hopefully just commandeer the game from that point on and win the game.
Okay. Okay. Cool. Then what kind of or what are your main heroes, would you say?
So that's like one of the things that I was gonna mention is like I think one of my problems is I am not very consistent about the heroes that I play. Like I really enjoy playing a lot of different heroes, but I know for climbing it's better to focus on 3 to 5. So that's like one thing I'm hoping that I can get your help on because in this patch I feel like almost every hero that I pick, apart from Windranger, I'm just getting crushed in lane. So I'm kind of struggling to find like a hero pool. But conventionally, I play like the top three heroes that I play that I have above like a 60% win rate on are Drow, Jug, and Am. Heroes that I'm bad at are Troll, Terrorblade, and Phantom Lancer. I'd want to say so. Like those are the archetypes I think that I'm worse at. And I like playing kind of like unconventional offbeat carries like Windranger and back when Nature's Prophet was really popular, I like playing that too. And TA, so
And which one, TA?
yeah.
Okay. Okay. I mean, it's for me it's kind of the same thing as like parts of the game to focus on. If you're trying to do too many heroes, then um it also means that you're not really mastering any of the heroes, right?
Yeah.
So that's just like for me it's not just about climbing. For me it's um I say this respectfully, but it's that people who talk about, because it's very common for people to come in and say I really enjoy playing a lot of different heroes. It's kind of like I also really enjoy learning a lot of different concepts, but if I try to do that I don't learn anything. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? So it's like, for me, I personally have realized that the issue lies in if there's a disconnect between what I want out of this and what my actions are doing, right? So
Yeah.
if there's plenty of people out there that they want to play a bunch of different heroes, and that's fine. If you're aware that that's like consciously going to really, really limit your ability to improve, then it's not just about gaining MMR, right? It's about improving. And I think like you
Yeah.
do learn heroes better in general if you play like if I were to play 50 games of Kunkka, then 50 games of Tidehunter, I will learn more than playing 50 games of Kunkka and Tidehunter over the course of 3 years, incorporating 10 other heroes in there as well. Where like
Yeah.
each hero's played 2 games a month. It's like I can play 12 different heroes, over the course of 3 years, and I'll learn way more than playing 12 heroes a week.
Yeah.
That's what I try to say to people is I don't want to limit your guys' ability to play a lot of different heroes, but we just need to concentrate it such that you don't what I say to people is they're leaving it at the consciously competent phase where they know what they're kind of supposed to do, but
Yep.
then it's not autopilot yet. So then they're also working on map awareness. They're also working on farming back on the minute. They're also working on all this other stuff. And then they can't push
Yeah.
buttons because their hero is not automatic to them. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Yeah, and like as a corollary to that, I was thinking about because you usually ask people what their main problems are, and like one thing that is related to that is hello?
Yeah, I can hear you. I just added the stream.
Oh, okay.
Keep going.
Okay. Is I get like a lot of I don't know how to describe it other than like draft anxiety. So like I worry a lot about whether I'm picking the right carry for the game. Even though that's something in my MMR that's probably irrelevant, but I can't stop myself from doing it. So like um especially if I have overall last pick that like really triggers the anxiety because I'm like, okay, I have to make up for what other people have drafted and things like that. And that's something that, like in the past, when I'm like, okay, only focus on these 3 to 5 heroes, something will get in the way where I'm like, oh, but this is the perfect Lifestealer game, and I'll pick Lifestealer even though I haven't played it in 3 months. So it's like um, that's something that I guess I've been reflecting and I've noticed. Um, yeah, and just wanted to let you know about that too.
Yeah, that's good self-awareness and good reflection. I mean, the question I always have for that, because I struggle with anxiety too, you probably know that if you watch a lot of my sessions, is what are you anxious about?
I'm anxious about putting us in a bad, or both myself and the team in a bad state to not win the game, I guess.
Are you more fearful of yourself losing the game or letting down your teammates?
I'd say both equally.
Both equally. What
Yeah.
happens when that happens? Like, if say you pick a bad hero and you let them down, like say you pick a bad hero, it leads to a loss, you let your teammates down. Like, what's the result of this in your head? Like, what's like the narrative going on in there that
Yeah.
makes that so scary? I'm not saying it's not scary. I just want to know what it feels like for you.
Yeah. I mean, like there are some games where I'll like come up like even before the game starts, I'm like, I really want to play this hero, and I just pick it, even though it's not a good game for it. And like, but in the back of my mind, the entire time, I'm like, but if I picked this other hero instead, that would have been better for the game. And then sometimes because I like playing sometimes more unconventional carries. I'll get flamed for it too. Like, why is this guy picking TA safe lane, right? Isn't that a mid hero? And like things like that. So um, there is some of that. I think the flaming doesn't affect me as much as like I feel bad because I feel like the game, I'm already losing the game. And then compounding to that, like because I'm already thinking to myself, I should have picked something else. Having the extra voice in my ear that's like, you screwed up. You've lost this for us is like extra awful, I guess.
That makes sense. That makes a lot of sense. So I have a few thoughts. Um, we can obviously only get so much done in a coaching session, so I don't want to necessarily like shortcut, but I also want to jump to how I view this problem and how I think the root of it is just something for you to think about. So for me,
Yeah.
a lot of times when we're struggling and we find ourselves ping ponging, which is what you're doing, where you're like, I'm just gonna pick this, and then there's times where like I gotta have the hero pool of 60 and pick the perfect hero. Like for me,
Yeah.
those are two very different extremes, right? It's like
Yeah.
one where it's like, I'm going to do whatever I fucking want. I want to play Windranger right now. And the other one's like, I know I'm supposed to play these 5 heroes, but this 50th hero is really fucking good, so I'm going to pick that. Um,
Yeah.
so you're following me that that's like kind of two extremes, right?
Yeah, 100%.
Okay.
And like not even with just that, it's also like I vacillate from the playing with intent versus playing brainlessly like a lot. Like there are some games where I'm like super locked in and I feel like I'm thinking about things very consciously, like the concepts that you've mentioned in videos past and stuff. And then there are other games where I'm like not, I'm just like not mentally there. I'm on autopilot completely. And it's like, I feel like my ability to influence that is not as high as I would like it to be.
I think there's a lot of people. I mean, I can relate to that. I think there's a lot of people out, listening to this that would be able to relate to that as well. I mean, so one thing I'd like to draw attention to is that there's a theoretical perfect for everybody, like meaning it ranges from everybody. But say the theoretical perfect, just in this case, is to have a 5-hero pool at all times, that you're operating within that constraint, but you do want to pick the best hero out of those 5 every single time. Like
Yeah.
say that's your optimal constraint. What I've learned
Yeah.
is that every time you go underneath that, you are and you're acting on an urge of sorts, like fuck it, I'm just gonna play this. Like, it's first off, I draw attention to how often we act on urges, but then the second thing is every time you do that, you're going to instinctually balance it by going to the other side. Does that make sense?
Mhm.
Like, I've just noticed that everybody does this. Like, if you spend 5 games in a row being anxious about picking the perfect hero, you're then going to spend equivalently 5 games saying, fuck it, I'm going to pick Windranger.
Yeah.
You're going to balance that. So I just want to draw attention to that. That's how it generally goes. That's what I've observed in myself, as well as when my students come in and kind of seeing what they're doing. So a lot of
Yeah.
that's just awareness right now. I don't have like, for me, awareness is like 90% of the problem. So me
Mhm.
knowing that if like knowing you're gonna fuck up in the future and knowing like you're gonna say fuck it, I'm gonna pick Windranger, and then knowing that when you lose that game, you're going to want to pick the perfect pick next time. That's how you fix this problem. Is knowing
Yeah.
that that's the connection and being like, no, 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 just because I impulsively picked Windranger because I felt like it does not mean I have to pick the perfect hero next game. Like, that's not how this
Yeah.
works. So that's one step for me, is knowing like this is what I do as a result of this. And when I do it, don't beat myself up too much. Like, you have habits, you have ways of doing things. These are very hard to break, right? But when you do them, we just need to be aware of what you do next, right? Like, how do you respond to breaking your own, or like falling back into your own bad habit? Do you see what I mean?
Yep. Yeah.
Okay. So I just want to say that, like, as a person who struggles with anxiety, like, it has improved a lot, is that it's really what I do when I get anxious because I lost that game. It's not the fact that I got anxious losing that game. It's
Right.
how do I seek to address this in the future? Like, that's the part that I found anxiety prevents you from doing, because you're so caught up in the moment of how bad this feels, and then you're already projecting that it's going to happen again. So you're like living in that moment when you make the future decision. You, does that relate?
Yeah.
Do you feel that?
Yep.
Okay.
Yeah.
So what I'm trying to do today for you is know it. This awareness is needs to be coupled with, we're going to decide 3 to 5 heroes for you right now in this patch. And like, ideally you would have 3 to 5 heroes in every patch. We're going to
Yeah.
decide that for you. And I need you to know that there's going to be times that you're going to decide, fuck it, I'm picking this hero, even though it's not the best. And that's not ideal, but it's going to happen. And there's going to be times that you're going to say, oh, but it's the perfect Lifestealer game, and I'm going to pick it anyways, even though it's not within my 5. But what the
Yeah.
5 is a anchor for you to say, no, 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 I know that I have this habit, and it's okay that I do it. Like, it's not good. I don't want to do it, but it's okay. This is my like North Star of, this is where I'm going to go when I do the bad habit. I'm not going to ping pong to the opposite extreme. Do
Right.
you see what you see what I mean?
Yeah. Yeah. Instead
Okay.
of vacillating between extremes, like having a midpoint that I can
That
return to that's like
that
not as
you
bad as
will return
either
to,
extreme.
right? So that's the
Yeah.
part where
Yeah.
people, myself included, we beat ourselves up for breaking, like saying we're going to do this differently, and then we fall back into bad habits. And I just want to
Yeah.
remind people that that happens to everybody. You're going to have like not even bad habits, but things you'd rather not do. And you're going, what we do is how we reset, it needs to be the conscious anchor that we chose. So today I'm going to give you that anchor real quick. So
Yeah.
I mean, when I say real quick, just name 3 to 5 heroes that you would like to play this patch only.
Um, I think Windranger's still there because I feel like that's one of the
Okay?
only heroes that I feel like I can't lose lane with.
Sure.
So it's nice to have like that sense of security, and it's a hero I've played a lot and I have a good win rate on. I want to learn SF, so that was like another hero I was considering.
Okay.
I played like few games with SF, and I've won a few, but like also lost a few pretty miserably. Then I don't know. Like I want like a melee hero because those are two squishy ranged heroes.
Yeah.
But every melee hero I've tried has been a miserable experience. Like I've tried Void, I've tried PA, I've tried Spectre, I've tried PL, I've tried AM. So those are the five that I've tried so far. Because I was also trying to sort out like, okay, we need to find some melee guy here that we can play in the event that it's not a good game for two squishy ranged heroes. So
What about like Ursa?
I've just
I
been
just think
struggling with
Ursa
that.
is a really conceptually straightforward melee hero that's strong right now. Does he resonate with you, or would you rather not play Ursa?
I'd rather not, but
Okay,
I can leave that as like a fallback if we can't decide on anything
that's
else.
fine. Out of all the heroes you've played, I mean, at this the point right now is we're just gonna pick one, and I'll explain in a second. Just out of all of those, which one would you like to like? Imagine you were playing well on them. Which one would you like it to be?
Maybe Void because I want to
Okay,
learn Void as well.
okay. My only thought is that your 3 to 5 hero pool, I haven't mentioned it yet, but a good rule of thumb is there should be one hero you're learning at most.
Hmm. Okay.
So if it's SF and Void, I want you to decide right now, is it SF or is it Void?
Um, it'll be SF. Let's do SF.
Okay, then what's a melee hero, even if you need to get better at them, but you've played them a lot?
Um, either Jug and AM are the two
Okay,
melees that I've played the most.
I'll put Jug and AM in there because we said 3 to 5. And
Right.
what I want you to know is I'm typing all this out for you, but I need you to know you can, like, none of these decisions you just made are locked in. It's just,
Yeah.
if you add something, you must subtract something. Like,
Right.
that's,
Right.
or, you have 4 right now. So if you added a fifth, you could technically leave it there. But my rule of thumb for myself, and I honestly have been following this more and more often, but it's like it's a work in progress because in my bracket the problem, like, I'm finding the right balance because it's like I get stuck playing random ass roles, so it's like because we don't
Mhm.
have role queue and stuff. So it's like the balance for me is a little bit different, but I found that adding this level of rigidity is really nice, not only because yes, it gives me that anchor and that North Star. But if you do this over the course of like 3, 4 months, like meaning over time, you're just kind of calibrating it. Not only are you going to keep changing your heroes based on what you want to play, but you may feel like 4 is the perfect number, or 6 is the perfect number, or 5. Like because you're going to be able to consciously say, after all of these games, I feel like I don't have a big enough hero pool. Or after all these games, I still feel like I'm playing a bit too many heroes. Like you're going to be able
Mhm.
to tweak that number. Do you see what I'm saying? Like it
Yep.
allows you to actually get meaningful feedback from your experiences because you're not ping ponging. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
Cool.
Yeah. 100%.
Okay. Awesome. Then okay. Uh so what replay do you have for me today? Because we just got done kind of doing that, and we're gonna do like the equivalent for your gameplay as well.
Yeah, there was that replay I sent a while back, which was a Windranger replay, but I also have two more recent replays, I guess, that we could also do if that would take time to pull up.
Sure, let's do that. I mean, I can do the old one
Okay.
if you really want to make sure it's that one. I think I downloaded it. If I
Okay.
didn't, then I can apologize. Oh no, you sent it in a. Oh yeah,
The
yeah, yeah.
Google
I
Drive.
downloaded it. Do you want that one or do you want
Okay.
a different one?
Yeah, I'd like to look at that one
Okay,
because I feel like that was me playing well, but I still lost. I think it'll give us a good upper bound, and then I have a Void game, which is a good lower bound, I think. So
sure. Do you want me to make sure that I get to both of those in terms of our time today?
yeah, I think
Okay,
I think we can gloss by laning for this because in like the first 2 minutes, I was just laning against Kunka. He didn't have his support with him, so I kind of just bodied him in lane.
sure,
We can still like gloss over it pretty quickly. If there's anything that sticks out to you, let me know. But I think the lane wasn't as relevant for this.
sure. Yeah, I mean, not too much. You're maintaining lane equilibrium properly in a 1v2, which is good. What you're supposed to do, but they're making it a little easy on you. You can keep fast forwarding. Why Falcon Blade, out of curiosity?
It's something that I've been trying because I saw Yadaro doing it. So I was like, I want to give it a shot. I've since stopped doing it because I don't think that I need the mana regen as much.
Yeah, I was gonna say with this
So I've
facet, I
been
haven't noticed mana regen being a problem.
Yeah, so I've been going the bracer into treads build instead. But
Okay.
yeah, for this I was trying it out.
Yeah, okay. I was just curious. I've felt like my early items like have to give me damage on Windranger. It's either like Glove of Haste or the like you could do the if you were doing the if you were doing the Falcon Blade, like I would buy the Blade of Attack first. But like you had
I
bought
think
the
okay, yeah,
you had bought
the Sage's Mask.
yeah, the Sage's Mask. I've just felt like, for treads I buy Glove of Haste first, and then then I buy like the Belt of Strength or the Agi, depending on the lane and stuff.
Yeah, I usually get Blade of Attack first, but I was like, I died at First Blood, I think, at the rune. So I was
Oh,
like,
you
right
bought
before
it
I
with like your
died, I was
remaining
like,
gold.
I'm just gonna buy it with the gold that I had.
I see. That makes sense. I guess my one point of note is that, so you kill this guy, and then your Veno's like making use of the pull camp over here. I think like I would want you to drag these two creeps into here, and then kill these creeps.
Okay.
This is something you only do when you're in complete control of the lane. Like,
Right.
because it's a super greedy play. You're denying the range creep and getting yourself a jungle camp.
Right.
Do you see what I mean?
Yep.
So a small tidbit,
Yeah,
but this,
usually I don't do that, but yeah, that makes sense in this case.
yeah, it's like, it is the optimal play if you're allowed to do it. So in a lane where
Right.
you're completely free, if you're not doing it, I kind of just assume you'll never do it.
Yeah.
But yeah, so in this case, that's what I believe to be the highest controlling play. And one of your things you were asking about is how do I maintain leads? Or like, what do I do with a lead coming out of the laning phase? And a
Yeah.
lot of it is these little things where it's like, I just min-maxed the shit out of my farm, denying this guy an extra 2 range creeps and me getting an extra jungle camp. Like, it adds up a lot. So I'm just mentioning that that's the first one that's shown up for me, that I'm watching. Yeah, so for me, it's a pretty telltale sign if you've been in absolute control of this lane that you don't have a neutral item. So like if I were to rewind, right around 5-minute mark, what I tell everybody is we need to start jungling the small camp every minute. So this guy kind of griefed you a little bit by killing it. It is what it is. I'm just fast forwarding to see if I like missed you.
Other opportunities, right?
Yeah, were there opportunities? Yeah. Because maybe there weren't, because it happens sometimes. Yeah, you're still bullying them a lot. So like
I kind
here,
of like my perception is that Windranger is really not good at jungling until I have at least Maelstrom. Are you suggesting that I get the neutral items via like pulling?
yes, a ton of pulling.
Okay.
Tons of pulling.
Okay. Okay.
So an example is here. This is the first one. I would want you right now to walk over here, drag these creeps in as this wave is dying, and then you pull this wave effectively. Do you see that?
Yeah. Yeah.
So this is the first example. Yes, it is really important on heroes that don't jungle fast, even on heroes that jungle fast, because you'll save resources, you'll save HP, you'll save mana, in order to pull these creeps. So creeps are just a free resource for increasing your jungle speed. That's all they are.
Right.
So right here was the first example. I would have wanted you to pull into that wave. That's not only denying them creeps, but also giving yourself farm. You're also like forcing them to interact with you. They're either choosing to fight you over there or let you have it. And that's one way to capitalize on leads. That's actually the main way. to capitalize on leads is to slowly but surely be greedier and greedier with your farm to a limit where you're like, I dare you to fight me. And the opponent gets this like foreboding feeling of, if I don't do something about this, we're just going to fucking lose. And you can like give them that at minute 5. You know what I mean? Like you can give the Kunkka that feeling at minute 5.
Right.
It's just something to think about that like what I'm basically telling you is, yes, you're free farming back here. Now drag a camp into the wave so that they have a choice to fight you over here or not. And then you're going to prepare to fight them, you know? So you're like dragging them into you effectively. That's what pull camps do, is they increase your efficiency. They force interactions between you and the opponent. So you want to do it when you can do both these things, increase efficiency and force them to fight you for farm. So like notice how the Venomancer how did Kunkka get there? What did he do? Oh, like Venomancer's like jungling a camp, so he baited Venom. I mean, honestly, Kunkka's just kind of bad for being over there, but it's okay. So we're gonna fast forward. Yeah, so we definitely could have had a neutral item by now. I would just encourage you, first like 5 to 10 minutes, use pull camps as often as possible to either / both actually increase efficiency and force enemy to fight you. So yeah, a lot more pulling basically. That's your main tip that I'm seeing when you're winning a lane like this. Okay, so you're against Drow. Okay, Pop's like in your lane all the time.
Yeah.
Okay, so you TP mid, which is good. I was waiting to see if you would do something like that. But you do have ulti, so like in this case, when you TP'd mid, I would want you to look back at what's happening top. Because you won your lane, you have ulti, you're strong. I know you don't have your farming item yet, but I would want you to look at this. And I would see this and I'd be running towards it for sure. This looks really good.
Okay.
This looks really good for you guys. This guy's TPing out, this guy's low, they're running away from Venom wards. So yeah, I'm curious. What's your consideration for not going back here? Are you just thinking I need my Maelstrom, so I'm farming? Is it that simple, or is there more to it?
Well, I was thinking by the time I ran there, they were already retreating. So like I could see like the arrows on the minimap. So I was like, okay, they're already leaving. So by the time I get there, they're going to be gone. And I just TP'd mid. So while I'm here, I'll just jungle these camps and get Maelstrom.
I see. That applies a lot more on any hero without a move speed boost. But your hero has a move speed boost. Okay. So we want to use it. We see this many heroes on the map. We should feel pretty safe to win run our way over. Our cooldown should be up right around the time we start the fight if it's still going. The thing about this play is you win run now, and then if the fight dissipates, you do this.
Okay.
And you farm the wave.
Oh, you're saying I start from mid tower, not back where I am now.
Yeah,
oh, okay,
so like right here, you see the fight, and then you do this. Okay. And then if the fight persists, you keep going. If the fight dissipates, you either turn here or you turn here. Like, I call this hedging. Hedging for fights when you are strong mid game. These are just a lot of missed opportunities, especially when you're up like 15-4. A lot of missed opportunities, and in the long run, it's like there's like a 40 to 60% chance you clean them up and get a double kill. You know what I mean? And across multiple games, that's gonna really pay off in the wrong direction. That you are not going to these. Okay, so. And at the end of the day, the hedging costs you very little farm, is what I've learned. It's like, it doesn't really cost you much at all. Because you're just like, okay, the fight's done, I'm going to go back to farming. But you wasted maybe 3 seconds of walking for like a 40% chance to get 2 kills. And do that 10 times, and, you know, it adds up. Okay, this guy is just crazy. Okay. So we get a kill on that guy, turn into a tower. You're going to go Ancients. That's fine. Makes sense. I want you to go back to mid-wave here. Okay, you do. Good. Yeah. Okay, he has Blade Mill. Got chill out. What's interesting about this is when you did that, I would want you to fight to stay on the map. I'd want you to try to play here.
Okay.
Because if you run like this and Quap runs towards you, sure, go base. But the odds of him having vision here are really low, and I don't want you to just go to base. I want you to farm your way back to base, because you don't need to be back on the map for 65 seconds. Like, you can just farm. So we don't need to be full HP. We don't always need to be aggressive. But I would not want you to do that when you have your ult. Like, if you had not expended ult on him, I would want you to run to base right there.
Okay.
Does that make sense, the difference there?
Yeah, yeah.
So don't be afraid to farm at 1/4 HP if you don't want to fight anyways. Also, don't farm at 1/4 HP if you are strong enough to fight otherwise. That's the rule of thumb that I typed out for you. Does that make sense?
Yeah. Like, my condition to fight is having my ult. So.
Yeah. And we just don't want... We don't mind if both conditions for fighting are not satisfied at the same time, which is I don't have HP and I don't have ult. But we don't want to ping pong between the two of them. So that's how we balance farming a bit better. I'm just kind of fast forwarding here. Where does this go? So you buy a Mjolnir. You're going to go Manta. I think you are being a bit overly passive. Like, I probably would have played the mid lane there. I don't hate this, though. There's not too much happening on the map. Like, I don't hate any of this. I'd be Mjolniring the creep wave. That's a big thing. Do you ever do that?
Sometimes, not as frequently as I probably should.
Yeah, I would have loved for you to Mjolnir the creep. It's effectively the same as sending a Manta lane illusion down the lane. You just Mjolnir the creep that's in front. And then you would have never show there. You would have ran mid without showing. Let's see. I'd just be hitting creeps. Yeah, okay. You're gonna look at the fight. You're gonna go. Okay. Okay, nice. Very good. Get the tower. We're gonna go top now, right? Fantastic. Oh no, take their ancients. Where are you going? Where are you going? I just need to know why you're not taking their ancients right now.
It did not occur to me.
What is occurring to you? Like, what's going through your head here?
I'm thinking I can reset. The rune is probably up because it was just 24 minutes. I'll grab the rune and then I'll just jungle backwards. But I could have started up further in the minute, like you've mentioned before.
Okay. So you've understood this process. Like, right now, we're accruing a bunch of stuff, and we're going to kind of identify your North Star after seeing 2 games, okay? So, like, I'm just taking notes. We haven't decided exactly what to focus on. You're kind of aware of what I'm talking about.
Oh, wait, I think maybe I actually pinged to go Roche. Sorry, this was like 3 weeks ago. So
yeah, so you might have pinged to go Roche. Just farm. That's how you lose games, in my opinion. I know you guys win a fight and get Roche there, but we win games by lanes getting pushed in, cutting everything, farming the entire enemy side of the map, and we're like, they're just shut off. There's nothing they can do now. Okay, we can go Roche.
Right.
Reverse that order. Like, what's the intent with the Aegis? I'm thinking, like, what are we trying to do with this? Why are we here? What's going on? What is this? I'm actually curious.
I feel like I thought at the moment that we were strong enough that they literally just could not do anything to us if we had Aegis, but maybe that was premature.
If you are strong enough, if you say that, if you are strong enough to, quote unquote, as a lot of people put, just go high ground, get 3 lanes in, then do it. Hardly any exceptions. Your strength comparatively to them determines how many lanes get pushed in before you go high ground. You are behind and need to force a reaction. 1 lane is fine. You are slightly ahead, maybe controlling map. 2 is good. You are dominating them. 3. I see this scoreboard. There are 3 lanes at their base. Both tier 2s in the side lanes are dead. Whole map is farmed. We're getting 1,000 GPM on them every minute, 1,000 gold lead. This lane's been pushed. It gets cut here, farmed here. This lane gets cut. We kill this. We sweep across the map, kill this. That's what an advantage looks like.
Right.
Do you understand what I mean? And like, I maybe not the
Yeah,
entire result of
100%.
it.
Because this is I think where the throwing starts, because Tiny's gonna jump in here. He's the one with Aegis. He gets overzealous. I think he ends up dying twice. I like leave. I don't die, but that begins the slow spiral down to losing. So that makes sense.
Yeah, and I don't want it to just be like hindsight 2020, right? Because it makes sense that this is like maybe the beginning of the end or whatever. But I need
Yeah.
everybody listening. This is a public service announcement. If you're strong enough to go high ground and you're that sure of it, you're also strong enough to push all 3 lanes in. Just fucking do it. Like,
Yeah.
just
Could you go back a little bit, because I think I do look top wave, but I don't have my TP up, so I can't TP there to like push it out. And I think maybe someone else on my team is calling to go high ground.
so right
Like right
now,
after we get Aegis.
when you kill 3 people like this, I need you to tell me what you think is the most aggressive farm you can get and not die.
Mhm.
By yourself.
Um,
Explicitly by yourself.
I could probably cut one of the waves.
You could either
top or
cut this
bottom.
wave or this wave. And honestly, with your HP in the situation, I would win run to top right now.
Okay.
That's what I would do. I would personally
Okay.
win run to top because you are half HP and you don't have your defensive item yet. Like,
Okay.
you're not exactly super survivable by yourself. You're more
Okay.
farm heavy than you are this. And I'm just telling you, when people make this call, say, we need to fix lanes, and then just go fix them. Like,
Yeah.
whatever they say to you after that, it's just like, hey, man, we needed to fix lanes. Like you just, people are not going to give you logical responses to this, and it's okay. We just need to not agree with them.
Yeah. Yeah.
I hate to say it.
I think I'm just maybe
Yeah.
a little too hesitant to run across the map when I didn't have my TP up. Like I think if I have, maybe I'm tooting my own horn, but I think if I have TP up, I do TP top. But I was like, I shouldn't run there. But maybe I'm underestimating how fast I get there with Windrun.
Lanes get fixed, period. I understand all this stuff. I believe you that you would maybe TP if you go there. There's no exceptions to this rule. Lanes get pushed.
Mhm.
You know what I
Yeah.
mean? So
Yeah.
whether, like, I don't want you to constrict yourself in any way. Every student I have has some sort of map constriction. So some of them seem to gravitate towards this area as dire because they think this tower has to die. So they just always farm here, even though it's really bad at that time. And I'm like, why are you farming there? Because they're like, I'm looking for an opportunity to kill this tower. And then a
Right.
guy says, oh, I'm farming here as dire carry. And I'm like, why are you farming here? He's like, because that's the most efficient area. And it's like, if there's 4 heroes in his lane, that's not the most efficient area. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? So for you, I think you're made, like, everyone kind of gives them their own constraint to themselves that I think is heavily limiting their decision. You seem to be very adverse to walking to lanes, whether that's at 13 minutes when you TP'd mid, and whether that's here. There's just things that we need to do in the game. It's okay if you walk there. It's okay if you don't hit creeps for 20 seconds. Like, we just need to fix lanes. We need to be willing to fight when we're strong. These are like things that always apply. We just need to not restrict ourselves. Does that?
Yeah.
Do you see what I'm saying?
Yeah, that makes sense.
Okay.
That's definitely like an unconscious assumption I think that I had, that like if you don't have TP, you don't walk across the map.
Yeah,
Type of thing.
that makes sense. It's like, if we had time to really dig deep and figure it out, everybody has these subconscious things for a reason. For some reason, that served you at some point. Maybe you were walking too often and not farming enough. Like, for some reason, that has served you. But as a coach who's not been there for I haven't seen your journey. Like, so I had a video with Dr. K, and I talked about my way I view blaming people, and he looked at it and was just like, man, like, he didn't say it exactly this way, but this is like my, interpretation. Man, like, there's just some weird amalgamation of crap that you started with here. And I don't know how, like, it started with this and it's been given 20 years to bud into something that there's no way I understand. Like, I understand, like, and so for me, what I realized, because I've heard this sort of thing a lot, is how often or how easily as humans we normalize things. right? Like we just normalize an assumption that we're operating under. And a lot of times what it takes is for someone to look at our lives and just be like, that's really fucking weird that you do that. Like,
Yeah.
and so as a Dota player, it's just like, I can imagine there's reasons that you don't want to walk places. Like I can, like in theory, that is inefficient. So I get that. But as a Dota coach, I'm just like, that assumption is fucking you. Drop it as best you can. Just question the assumption. It's not even drop it as in never do it. Like, just keep walking places, but drop that assumption and question it, you know?
Yeah.
And I think, so I'm just going to say, drop the assumption you shouldn't walk from lane to lane. I've noticed that the lower MMR you go, the more often you have to walk from lane to lane because people aren't fixing lanes properly.
Yeah.
Does that make sense? Like, you actually have to walk from lane to lane. You have to TP to that lane, then walk to that lane, and then walk to that lane. You know?
Right. Okay.
It's not ideal. We prefer not to do that. We prefer to, like, farm this lane and then go to the Ancients and then go here. But, like, if people aren't clearing lanes, the point that I'm trying to make is there's, like, an X amount of lane clearing that's supposed to happen, and you have to do it more based on the teammates doing it or not.
Yeah.
So that means if they're not doing it properly, you will walk more. Like, that's, if you know, when we logic it out, that's actually how it works. Does that make sense?
Yep.
Cool. So we're at about 40 minutes in. You know, we've got 25-ish minutes, 30 minutes left. Or no, sorry, 20 minutes left because I do have a class. What would you like to do with the rest of your time here? We can talk about the rest of this game. We can go into the, I'm trying to remember, I think it was an SF game or something. What would you like to do with that time? What's the best use of it, you think?
I'm still not entirely clear why I lost this game, so I'd like to get that clarified and then look at the laning stage maybe of the other game.
Absolutely. Yeah, we have about a little over 20 minutes left. Just want to make sure we hit it properly here. So that was step one. You definitely don't just lose the game because of that only. I do think you heavily underutilize Mjolnir and Manta on lanes. The whole idea of this is that, like, in this spot here, when you're walking backwards on farm, like, so you started your farm pattern and now you're going backwards because you cleared a wave. Now here, I need you to Manta Mjolnir and then Mjolnir the Manta illusion.
Right. Okay.
And clear the wave here. And then what that's going to do is keep this lane pushed out one more extra wave, and that's going to allow you to potentially connect to your team. You don't have to, though. At the very least, it's giving you plenty of information to do this with your farming pattern. But instead, because you don't do that, you have to loop back to this wave that gets pushed. And you're like, okay, I'm going to go back over here now. I kind of feel glued here. I'm going to go back to the wave now. And, like, you're just not ever going to your team. And it's not that you're missing something specific, but you're locking yourself on that part of the map by not doing that. Does that make sense?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. So then your team goes and dies. Okay. So I need you to TP bottom, like, right now. Lanes, lanes, lanes. We see this. You need to TP bottom right now.
Okay.
Do you understand why?
Yeah, so I mean, my hunch is that so I can maybe force TPs back, someone will defend the tier 2 if I push out the wave. Or if they don't, I can just take the tower for free.
In general, the assumption is if we clear lanes as efficiently as possible, the opponent gets to do less of what they want to do. That is just the general assumption you will always operate under, whether that's get Roche, whether that's kill heroes, whether that's push high ground, whether that's take control of the map. They will get less of that if you push lanes better than they do. So I'm just looking at opportunities where when your team dies as 4, this is a part where people will say, like, well, his team fed like idiots, you know? For me, it's like, now what? My team fed? How do I minimize the damage? And that's by clearing waves that I can clear. Like, we don't need to go feed. But, like, we see 4 heroes mid. We TP bottom right now. Push it out. Manta Mjolnir the next wave. Farm backwards down here.
Right.
Or maybe we go through the gate, depending on where they walk. But now we have 2 waves pushing into us instead of 1. Actually, 3 waves. Okay, so now you go a little bit better. So now you can't join your team because now they're alive and you TP'd away from them. And now you're late to a fight, potentially. But okay, it works out. You showed up. Man, that would have been so much cleaner if you TP bottom first. But still good. Still good. Okay, fast forward. I'm going to go high ground, which we should not be doing. Yeah, I would not be doing this. I'd just be farming the map. Yep. Okay. I feel like I can do whatever I want equals farm the map, not high ground. Right now, they're 5 dead. They're all respawning. Take all these fucking camps and let them sit there crying for a minute because they have nothing to fucking do with their lives. And take Roche.
So if I do want to go high ground, the condition for that would be like all of their timers are the same as Kunka's right now.
Yes.
Okay. Like I'm just trying to understand when do I go high ground then? So it's like when everybody's dead and they're not going to be respawning.
What I will tell you is this: there are exceptions, always, but you would benefit from never going high ground unless you have 2 lanes and Aegis, and if you're winning 3 lanes, like meaning like winning really hard, like 10k plus. Like, if you operated under that assumption for like the next 100 games, you would benefit. There are players that that try to go high ground too much, and it's really hard to convince you guys. Like, I'm not saying like you need to be convinced, but it's really hard to prove to you that this is bad.
No, I understand that it's bad. I'm just like trying to puzzle out. Okay, then at what point do I eventually go high ground? But that makes sense.
The way that you're going to learn about this is I'm teaching you lanes get pushed in and you farm the whole map. What ends up happening is you go, there's no lanes left to push. There's no map to farm. I guess I got nothing else to do. Let's go high ground.
Mm-hmm.
You see what I mean? Like that's actually how it works. Yeah. Oh, shit, I guess I've got Aegis and the whole map's farmed and 2 lanes are pushed in. I guess we'll go high ground.
Okay.
Like that's how high grounding works. Like in a nutshell, if I could explain it in one sentence. So I think your major contribution to this game is honestly the lack of Manta Mjolniring creep waves. That adds up. That's probably happened 5 or 6 times. The lack of TPing or walking to fix lanes. That's happened twice. And the going high ground with other stuff to do in the game. Because even though you didn't die in both of those instances, it is losing you guys map control. So like right now, you guys force that quad ulti. I want you to cut this wave right here. Like walk in, cut this wave, and then like swoop across the map right now. Because this, when the opponent is running away from you, is like a waste of your time. Like, cut the wave and run across. Force a fight. You've got everything. You've got BKB. You've got ult. So now you guys run towards a wave. Like we're running. Like, where are we going right now? Actually, you're going Tormentor or something. Okay, you know what? I don't hate this. Never mind. Tormentor's fine. And now we're TPing. We need to fix mid. Run there. We need to fix bottom now. Run there. Okay, Roche is up. Never mind. Okay, we need to fix top after Roche. So we go there. Perfect. Got 2 lanes pushed in. I don't actually hate this push, but we shouldn't be diving, I don't think. Yeah. Okay. My question is, why did you dive? That's my question.
Could you play the fight back in like a slower speed? I'm not sure.
Absolutely.
I'm, like, seeing it all.
Here it is. Here's your perspective on 1x.
We can skip ahead a little bit, I think. Okay. Okay, yeah, I think I saw the drow. Shallow Grave already used. If I can get on top of the drow, I can kill her, and then they don't have enough damage to kill the rest of us. Was the idea, but that was too far for sure.
What is your objective right now?
Trying to get the racks at least.
Okay. So my thought is, you see this play. So your objective is to get the racks. You see this play, you're like, I can help as long as I'm within range of the racks.
Okay.
That's your line. Like, no more. Just hit racks. Just back off and hit. They use their defensive spells. That means they can't fight us. That's how I look at this. Well, like, this isn't our objective, right? Drow is not how we win this game. It's by killing these racks and having them have to fight us there. And and I'm telling you this because you can't control what your team's doing, and that did initially look good. But it's the fact that we chase far away from the racks is like the core of the problem. Then you end up dying in their base. Yeah, interestingly...
Yeah, I think basically from here, it just goes downhill, and then we just lose. Because, like, every fight, we get RP'd, and then if I go on Drow, Drow gets shallow graved, so it's like, I felt really lost in terms of how to team fight later on, but I guess that's, like, irrelevant considering the macro mess-ups that were happening before that.
We can fast forward real quick, because it's not irrelevant. You're still up 11k. Like, this game is not over by any stretch. So, like, we need to fix top. Where are we going? I wanted to just fix top. We're fighting. Every time I'm seeing your game, I'm just like, just fix the lanes. Like, don't go here. Just fix this lane. Keep walking down the lane. And if by the time this fight happens, you're there, great. But I've watched you basically, quote-unquote, abandon your post to help your team force things. And I know that it, like, people see you're up 17k, 47 and 19, and they have 2 heroes dead. But now you're running all the way from tier 2 top to tier 3 bottom to join a fight. Like, it's just not your fight. You know, like, if you were farming this wave, sure, man, like, walk over. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And so it's just, it is a consistent abandoning of lane priority to help your team. And this, I think, pairs with anxiety because I get anxious a lot. I've been working on it. And one of the symptoms, in my opinion, of a carry player being anxious is abandoning our farming duties of clearing lanes in order to join the team. So the reason why I was okay at 13 minutes with you hedging is because there was no lane for you to clear. You've already cleared it.
Yeah.
So now you can just walk towards your team in these spots. And later on, I showed you this already, but I just want to draw the parallel for you. That by not Manta Mjolniring this wave, you're not allowing yourself to connect to your team.
Yeah.
So I want you to know that there's a balance in carry play of managing the lanes X amount to whatever your capabilities are. And if that's done optimally, first off, you'll have more opportunities to join your team. If it's not done optimally, you got to learn to do it better. You know what I'm saying? So, like, right now, you're trying to decide when to go to fights or not. I want your signal to be, how many waves can I clear? Am I optimizing waves? How many waves did I miss this game?
Yeah.
You see what I mean? Because it will make it more difficult for you to decide when to go with your team or not. Because it makes sense as a carry player that when this lane is pushing into me, I'm thinking the same thing as you, where I see this, and I'm going to do this with my farm. Because the lane's pushing into me. Like, that's what I'm going to do. So, we just need to not let that happen.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Because then if that lane is up here, then you see no purpose here. You're just like, okay, well, I guess I'll just go this way. Like,
yeah.
And that's what, for me, that's the connector, is a combination of not efficiently clearing lanes. And then, basically, you probably feel like you're not connecting to your team enough. So then when they do try to do stuff, you connect to them forcefully. Is that possibly what's happening?
It always feels a little janky of like, oh crap, they're doing something. I have to go.
Yeah.
Like the toddler is about to put a fork in the outlet. I have to go stop him. Like that.
Absolutely.
That's the way that it feels.
Absolutely. And that makes sense. And it's interesting Because in this analogy, because like I don't want this to be the way we would approach it in the toddler and the fork, what we need to do is baby proof the house, which is fix the lanes. We don't need
Yeah.
to run over and stop the toddler from putting the fork in the outlet because he's already got the fork in the outlet. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Yeah.
So you're trying to scramble and save that toddler's life, but in this case, a toddler's not fucking dying. It's just a Dota game.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So,
Yeah.
you know, I know, I think you took that analogy from me, and I do love that analogy, but we also don't want to overreact to each individual situation, and that's how you end up ping ponging a lot. That's how you end up flip flopping and following noise, because that noise will specifically address this problem this game, right? And then in the next game,
Yeah.
it'll be a different problem. Maybe your team's split up too much and you're trying to force fights because they won't group up. And in this game, your team groups up too much. So then you're trying to join them because you feel like you need to. Like the problem is is going to manifest itself differently every game because of the different heroes, because of the different teammates. But there is your role of clearing waves and connecting to your team naturally. And part of that comes with being more efficient about how you clear waves. And the other part of that is understanding when you're up by 17K, there's not allowed to be 14 creeps hitting your tier 2 tower top.
Right.
You know what I mean? Like that's just not okay. So it's
Yeah.
like there is this arbitrary based on how much we're winning. That's how many waves should be pushed. There's just like there's no exact answer there, but you know what I mean though? It's like
Yeah.
a vague amount, or like an arbitrary amount of map control that you will get from winning. And that's how I want you to
Yeah.
look at the game. How much do I think we're winning and how do the lanes look? I want that to
Yeah.
match. And that's like the signal
Yeah.
in all of this noise. That's
I
the
think the way
signal.
that I maybe be reframing it a little bit, I should be optimizing for map control, not optimizing for objectives taken, because objectives taken is a proxy or like a byproduct of map control.
Okay. I like that. I'm going to type that up because that's in your own words and I think that's good. Optimize for map control rather than objectives taken. Objectives happen by proxy when map control is gained. I like that a lot, actually. That's a good one. That's well worded. Would you like me to take a 5 to 10 minute glance at the other game?
Yeah.
Okay. What's the ID for
Yeah.
that one? Okay. And is this mainly the lane that you're concerned about, or what are we looking at?
Yeah, this is the line. Like this is I think characteristic of the way that almost all my lanes, if I'm not playing Windranger, have been going for the last week or so. Like I've just been, I think 80% of the time I'm losing my lane. So I think that something is going wrong. And I don't know what that
I'm
is.
just letting you know I'm predicting defensive aggro and pull the small camp. I'm predicting that as my feedback, but let's see what you got. Just because that ends up being the feedback and like 80% of people who are losing their lanes really badly. And this is a weak
Yeah.
laning hero generally on Faceless Void. Like he's not super weak, but he's not great.
Yeah.
He's like a little bit better than Spectre. He's like survivable, but very vulnerable to just getting poked down.
Yeah, and I'm against Undying Snipers. It's
Yeah,
like
that's what I mean. Is
I'm
like,
just
yeah,
getting pelted the entire lane, and I was like, this feels miserable. I'm trying the defensive aggro, but
yeah. Okay,
every time I
defensive
do, I'm getting
aggro's happening.
shrapneled or decayed.
Yeah,
So
okay, we're doing it. Defensive aggro's needs to be done. Wasn't done. Okay, where's the defensive aggro? Is this full camp's not there? Okay, not ideal.
I think I end up buying the sentry later on
Yeah,
to deward it because it's like,
that's fair.
yeah, again, I've watched a lot of videos, so I'm like, I need the small camp, but I think I
Yeah,
buy it now again.
so
Like,
in this case, I actually think your main issue is buying laning items. If
yeah,
your play is to defensive aggro and just get out of here, and you need to detect how good does this lane feel.
yeah,
What I wouldn't
I
want
think
from
I
you,
end up
go ahead.
bypassing the treads and I go straight Mask of Madness because I felt that afterwards. But the Wraith Band I think is was an unnecessary purchase.
The worse your lane feels, the less laning items you should buy. So I consider completing your Wraith Band, completing your Wand, and Raindrops all as laning items.
Okay.
Just so we're on the same page. I would have a Bear Circlet, a
I
Bear
think
Stick, and straight treads.
okay. Because I think the way that I felt about it was like I need to be able to jungle. My jungling item is Mask of Madness. In order to get the point where I get Mask of Madness, though, I need to be in lane. And if I want to stay in lane, I need some form of survivability. Hence, Raindrop Wand. Again, Wraithband was probably not a good idea, but that was at least the way what I was thinking.
This makes sense. The approach when the lane is bad is to buy less items so you get your Mask of Madness faster.
Okay.
When the lane is good, that means it's going to lead to more CS to buy more items, so then you'll get the item around the same time anyway. But in this case, you buying more items is not netting you more CS. Do you understand that? The difference?
Yeah, yeah. I think maybe I'm overestimating the leeway it gives me to stay in lane. Because I felt like without those items, I literally can't walk up. And with these, maybe I have some hope of snagging a few CS here and there.
Basically, what I'm trying to say is, rather than the worse your lane feels, the less items you should buy. It's actually the more unwinnable your lane feels. I would just ask you from the point of like 1 minute in where you're defensive aggroing and they're hitting you and stuff. How did it feel about winning the lane?
Bleak.
Okay, don't buy items.
Okay.
Like, so the more unwinnable your lane feels, because a lane can feel bad, but if you think investing in it can turn the tables, then you buy laning items. Do you see what I mean? So rather than the worse the lane feels, there are lanes that don't feel great, but you can fight back. But you're just not fighting these guys, and you're like, I don't think I can win this lane. But you're like, I'm buying these items to survive the lane. But no, that's not how it works. You survive the lane by interacting with them as little as possible, accepting that you might just have 20 CS at 6 minutes, and having full treads and leaving. Or like pulling small camp like you did with a sentry. Like that might just be your life. Maybe you queue up the Midas instead of Mask of Madness because you can't jungle anyway or whatever. These are just options. But like right now, I'm fine with what you're doing. Seems fine. I wouldn't have bought these items, but I'm fine. You're getting your big camp pulled.
Oh yeah, and then this is when it gets really bad because they just start chain pulling the large camp, and I'm like I don't know what to do.
Yeah.
We're trying to pull small, but large camp is, you know, gonna delay their wave much longer than small camp is gonna delay ours. So.
Yep. Interestingly enough, yeah, this is like the ultimate flop in terms of items, if I'm being honest. Like, the lane was kind of going decent, and you stopped buying items.
I have my Morbid Mask flying out, but yeah.
No, what I'm saying is laning items, which are treads. Like, your Morbid Mask is not a laning item, right?
Yeah.
So, like, I'm saying you were buying items when the lane felt bleak, and then when the lane was like, you were still hitting creeps. And then you were like, yeah, now they started pulling the hard camp and it feels really bad. But between that time, you weren't buying items. Do you see what I mean? So, like, the funny thing is, the two things I want in your inventory are treads and a Mask of Madness, or treads and a Midas. And you bought all this stuff and then elected to skip treads. So that's like, it's like doubling down on the badness of it. You know what I mean?
Okay.
So
can you help me understand what treads would do for me here?
What treads do is they let you walk places faster. They let you cast more spells. They let you hit creeps faster so that you can get out of lane faster, meaning like I can kill the small camp first. I can kill the lane creeps that I'm defensive aggroing faster. So that means less interaction with the opponent, walking places faster, and they just give me general survivability and damage. Like, treads just give you everything. Movement speed, farm speed, survivability, mana. They give you literally everything. And that's why they're like OP. But that's what treads do for you. Is all of this stuff you're doing of I don't want to interact with these guys and stuff, I have treads.
Okay. I think the way that I was thinking about it is like these two are dictating the terms of engagement. I don't have the option to limit interaction because they're forcing interaction either by being a wall and barreling down the lane or pulling the large camp, right? So I was like, I'm going to have to go to them no matter what. And in that world, I just want to be able to leave because I know that that's not tenable. At some point, it's gonna get to the point where I can't be in lane at all. So I need to escape with Mask of Madness as soon as I can was what I was thinking above the treads.
I got that. And I understand that part of this is also we just don't want to find ourselves in this situation again. Your goal, if I care about all of this, is if the lane feels unwinnable, your inventory is treads plus whatever the item you buy next is on whatever
Okay.
hero you play.
Okay.
And you don't have upgraded wand, you don't have upgraded wraithband, you don't have raindrops, like none of these other items. You don't have bracers. You
Got it.
just get the
Okay.
fuck out of here. With boots,
Okay.
upgraded boots, it can be phase boots on a hero like Lifestealer, perhaps. But it's like, it's upgraded boots and you're fucking out of here. And by out of here, I mean pulling small camp, sucking up XP, maybe even roaming on their carry or something. It's like you don't have these items in your inventory and feel like there's nowhere to go.
Okay.
If you're ever feeling like there's nowhere to go, I don't know what to do with my farm, and you have anything other than naked treads in your inventory, you did something wrong.
Okay.
That's what I'm
Okay,
trying
that's
to
good to
tell
know.
you. Like, that's how
Right,
people
right.
adjust to it. And it's not that it fixes your problems, but all the problems I think you were attempting to address with the upgraded Wraithband, upgraded Wand, and Raindrops, Treads just do it better because I can hit creeps with these two. And I move
Uh-huh.
faster as well.
Okay.
So, like, 35 attack speed and 10 damage and move speed is infinitely better than any of the shit you're going to buy.
Okay.
That's how I look at it. If
Okay.
you're not trading with the opponents consistently and consistently brawling to win the lane. Because the difference between Treads and Wraithband is there are cheap components that you can buy every minute or two for Wraithband, and they can make you win the lane at level 2, while Treads you have to wait a bit. But that doesn't fucking matter if you can't win the lane.
Yeah, yeah.
That's what I'm trying to say. The benefit of these small items is that incremental strength increase that can make the difference sometimes. And there's just some lanes where that doesn't make a difference, and we go Treads.
Okay.
Do you see my mindset for that in terms of the signal versus noise? It's
Yeah, yeah, that makes more sense. I think my evaluation of what treads would do for me in a lane that I'd lost is inaccurate, I guess.
treads, naked treads matches with feeling like the lane can't really be won. And by naked, I mean starting items plus treads.
Okay.
Like you don't just go fucking no items treads, but yeah. So a little bit of this coaching session, you have a lot of things you have knowledge of, and so it was me trying to wave through the noise to the signal. And in this particular case, I kind of took over and said you need to think about treads this way. So it was because
Yeah.
we were like a tad rushed on time, and I didn't want to like I didn't have the time to fully explain it to you. But that whole feeling of unwinnable lanes, we do just need to rewire that a little bit to treads, and then you're jungling at them. And
Okay.
that is how hot top level carry players approach this problem. And that's hasn't really changed for a while, just because like there's some different version of that, but treads have been the same way for so long, and so this particular thing has not changed.
Okay.
But when I'm
Is
looking
my
at
condition for leaving the lane to go jungle is that after having those items, or is it if the lane feels so awful that I can't be there that I have to do it anyways?
what I want to say to you is that it's really hard to tell you the hypotheticals here because you're approaching lost lanes like this.
Right.
So what happens is treads will increase your options. You'll maybe be able to go clear this camp, even if it takes like a little bit of your HP. You'll be able to walk over to pull camps faster. You'll be able to defensive aggro a bit better. You'll be able to potentially go through the gate and like do something weird. It gives you more options.
Okay.
But the hypotheticals is like you would much rather be in lane, but a lot of times the only way to be in lane is to pull small and farm in a tower. And sometimes that's just not possible. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So I
Yeah.
don't want you to over fixate on like staying in lane or what this means for you. I want you to know that this is how the like It's okay if we get booted out of lane 0-3 with treads in our inventory and like 500 gold towards Mask of Madness. But when we get booted out of lane with this, it's really bad.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, it's
I
really
basically
bad.
only like salvage this game by like making a gate rotation, and then that like saves my game. But like it was pretty bad up until that point.
Yeah, and that's the kind of situation we'll often find ourselves in when the lane goes ass, is like we can maybe make one cool play, and Void's pretty decent at that because you have like a long cooldown ultimate and stuff that can maybe turn
Yeah.
the tide of a fight.
Yeah.
And casual gate rotations are much better nowadays just because it's 30 mana. Like, it's way better than it used to be. It's very feasible to make casual gate rotations on a lot of carries, and you only do that when your lane really sucks.
Yeah.
But yeah, in this case, that's an example. I don't want that to be your long-term fix, because like, meaning like
Yeah. Yeah.
it's harder
No,
to teach
obviously
that, but
not. Yeah.
it's still good though. It's still good that you did
Yeah.
that, and it's good to know that that's an option.
Okay.
So main thing for you out of all the things we've talked about today, I think, is your rewording of optimize for map control rather than objectives taken. And that goes in tandem with dropping the assumption that you shouldn't walk from lane to lane.
Yeah.
And then I'd say from the 5 to 10 minute mark, using more pull camps. That was a big one. That's just a very straightforward thing. And I guess my last point of note for you that applies to pretty much everything is to remind you that we established a hero pool that can always change. And we've established
Mhm.
things that are important for you, but those can always change as well. And there's also going to be times that you forget these things, like you don't play disciplined or you pick outside of your hero pool. And all of these things are for that anchor, that feeling that, oh, I'm not really playing intentionally. I'm not picking the right, like I'm not picking within the set of heroes I said I would. That's what this stuff is meant to be, is an anchor. It's okay if you go outside
Right.
of it sometimes. Like, as long as you don't beat yourself up too much, we're all good. You know what I mean?
Okay. Yeah. And quick question, like based off of these two games that you've seen, like my laning mechanics, do they seem okay? It's mainly like the itemization in this one that screwed me over, or
It's
is
I'd,
there
I'd
like
say generally speaking, your understanding of mechanics of the game seem fine. It's your approach to certain stimuli that we had to adjust a lot. Like this one, it was the same
okay,
thing as like what you do when your teammates are trying to group up, what you do when you have control of the map. Like, it's mainly your triggers were what we needed to change. There were a few mechanics
okay,
things like using the pull camps more and making sure you're clearing lanes with Manta and Mjolnir more often, but the majority
mm,
of it was how you react to certain situations, I think, was the main problem we saw today.
okay,
And personally, I think if you optimize for map control over objectives taken, that's by far the single most impactful thing that you would do.
okay.
So I have all the notes. I'm just going to send it now. I mean, I could have been sending them throughout, but they've been typed up and they're in Discord.
Awesome.
Any final questions?
No, I think that's it. Thank you.
Yeah, awesome, man. No problem. Thank you. See you later.
Yep. Bye.
Okay. A little late for my class. I do have to go. I don't live stream my classes anymore. So I'm going to end the stream here. Thank you so much for watching, everybody. Hope you enjoyed. Don't forget to join us in the Dota Dojo if you haven't already. Exclamation